One thing that's really frustrating me about the teacher strikes, apart from obviously certain people's naive and rather dim view on what teachers actually do, it's the way it's creating a bit of division and animosity between teachers. If you choose to strike, that's absolutely fine. That is your right for now. If you choose not to strike for whatever reason, I know some teachers financially can't take the hit on that day. Again, absolutely fine. You shouldn't need to explain yourself, justify it. I think that is exactly why we need to be striking, that we're in this situation. But that's absolutely fine. I know some teachers don't want to strike because they feel they don't want to let the children down. Now, I wouldn't agree with that. I think by striking to get better working conditions so there are teachers around in a few years is more important. But again, I can respect it. Ultimately, we all want the same goal. We want an education system that isn't chronically underfunded by the government, that isn't working teachers to an inch of their lives where they're stressed, burnt out and leaving in their thousands. And teachers should be paid fairly in line with inflation. But to get messages from teachers this week saying that they are petrified to strike because they feel they'll be judged, ostracised, disciplined from their school and vice versa is ridiculous. One school say that their SLT specifically told them not to strike. And I can only imagine how stressful this must be for head teachers trying to stay open for key worker vulnerable children whilst your staff are striking. I get how pressured this is. It's like the pandemic strikes again, where you're being left out to dry by the powers that be. And I know you don't have to let your SLT know whether you're striking or not, but I think that dynamic is very telling about a school. You know, I feel if you've got a good relationship with your SLT, you're not going to leave them in the lurch. But if you then know by telling your SLT they'll pile workload on by getting you to create all the remote teaching in advance, you know, it's an absolute nightmare. I've seen some head teachers send letters home to parents, almost boasting about how proud they are that the school isn't striking, the school's not going to be closed. I mean, what sort of message is that sending to support the rest of the profession? You know, teaching's not a competition. Even though the government want it to be, through league tables, teaching becomes so much easier when we're there for each other, we collaborate, we support each other and look after each other. So whether you choose to strike or not, I'm not judging you, but I'd like to think that we can all be in the same boat in supporting those teachers who are striking and understand the reasons why, rather than sort of demeaning teachers, because we get enough of that from everywhere else. If we're expecting respect from everyone, the government, Ofsted, all this, how can we expect that when we're not willing to respect each other?